All right, next team up is Luck Dynasty. And their keeper was one of the statistically worst quarterbacks in the NFL last year, Andrew Luck. I get it. He's a Colts quarterback, expecting a bounce back year. If he plays like he did 2 years ago, not a bad keeper. The only quarterback to be kept, by the way. So that shows you where we always had quarterbacks kept, but now with only one keeper, it's kind of risk to do the quarterback because their points aren't going to show that much different than the other quarterbacks because everybody's throwing the ball a lot. So your first pick of the first round really, was Jordy Nelson, the guy coming off an ACL tear. I like Jordy, I do, but I don't think you needed to take him that early. I think that you probably could have gotten somebody a little bit more consistent, a little safer pick. That's a pretty risk pick to be your first one. But you know what? If he plays like he does with Aaron Rodgers throwing on the ball, you'll be all right. But I think that it's going to take him about week 5 or 6 before you really see the old Jordy Nelson, if we ever do again, because he is up there in age as well, and his speed was his key. Amari Cooper, though, I do like him. Larry Fitzgerald, where you got him, I think is all right. He might have a downtick year, but I mean he's getting up there as well. Kevin White is a guy that nobody knows what's going to happen with him. I mean, with him missing his whole rookie year, it's like having a rookie on your team. And when you take that, you could get boom, you could get bust. So I think it'll do okay, but I'm thinking 600, maybe 3 touchdowns on the season. So we'll see what that happens. And then, you took Kamar Aiken and Jalen Strong, a couple other wide receivers to kind of just throw some dirt at the wall and see what sticks. I think that Jalen Strong is a quiet guy in Houston that actually is going to have a pretty good year. Had a really strong preseason. I think that he's gonna get some touchdowns in there, but DeAndre Hopkins is gonna dominate the catches. He's gonna have the most receptions on the team. Jalen Strong, be lucky to get around 50 catches this year. You got to hope for the touchdowns with him. And as far as running backs go, you got Matt Forte, Melvin Gordon, Giovanni Bernard. Powell from the Jets, who will be with Forte, so I get that one there. James Starks, who he always seems to find his way on the field, so I don't hate that pick, especially where you got him. Regarding tight ends, though, Charles Clay, who just disappeared last year for the Bills after getting that contract and going there, did hardly anything. Hopefully that's all because of injuries, and with Tyrod Taylor also staying healthy this year, you should be okay with him getting some yardage. But I think that that's something you could upgrade through the waiver wire after a couple weeks. And then you got Stafford late to back up Andrew Luck. Here's my prediction. Matthew Stafford is going to score more fantasy points than Andrew Luck will this season. I 100% think that's going to happen. And that just shows you that you kept Andrew Luck, you got Stafford in the second to last round, and that's where you could have really made your team better. But who am I to judge? You got your Colts. I get it. You want to keep him. You don't want anybody else to take him. I understand it. I just hope that it works out for you. Overall, the team is pretty solid. No standout stars in any one position, but I think the consistency with what your roster is going to entail is really going to help you out. Obviously, the Charles Clay is probably the weakest part of your team. But with all being said, I think that you're going to be quietly a pretty good team. You'll probably be right around that 6th spot for the playoffs, assuming that Andrew Luck plays well. But, why play him when you got Matthew Stafford on the bench? Regarding all that, I'm going to give your team a C+. I think that just with the keeper situation, a guy you could have got 4 rounds later, he kept as the number 1 guy. That can really show to hurt your team. So overall, a C+, but I think you're going to be in the playoffs, like I said, around 5 or 6 seeds.